largest event on the WPT this season thus far. Tonight's winner will take home over $1.6 million.
Yes, they will. We are in LA, land of freeways, dreams, and plastic surgery. And let's talk about the structure. The antes will start out at 10,000, the blind 30 and 60. We're going to the table. Action on Binh Nguyen. He quickly folds his hand, and now it's up to the great Chris Ferguson. They call him Jesus. He has a 9-10 of clubs.
And he's got the suited connectors. Chris Ferguson, a very aggressive player. A WPT title is what he craves. It's the only thing missing from his poker resume. He's going to raise it here. Makes it 160,000 to go.
But right behind him, Cornel Cimpan with the ladies, a pair of queens. The poker professional out of Houston, Texas, with a big hand on hand number 1.
We're short stack with 20 players left in this tournament. He's still here. See what he's going to do with the ladies.
He's going to play it slow, just calling.
Takes the conservative route.
Poker pro Pat Walsh out of St. Louis folding. WPT champ Chris Karagulleyan also out.
Young, tough Mike Sowers folds as well. So 2 players, Chris Ferguson, Cornel Cimpan going at it. Here comes the flop. Jack, 8, deuce, all different suits. Chris Ferguson has flopped an open-end straight draw. Action is on him.
Just a nice flop there for Chris. Big possibilities. Will he make the continuation bet? No, he quickly checks it.
Wow, Cornel checks right behind him. I can't believe it, Vince.
Very surprising.
In case your opponent had an ace high, why would you give him a free card there where he could catch it to beat you? 6 of hearts comes off on the turn. Chris Ferguson checks. Well, this time Cornel's going to bet, but not a very big bet. 175,000 into a pot that's got 470,000 in it.
Finally trying to protect the overpair.
Chris Ferguson is going to make the call here with his open-end straight draw.
Yeah, he wants to draw out on the Houston professional. Will he get his card? Here's the river.
Well, a 10 comes off. This gives Chris Ferguson a pair of 10s. Might get him in trouble. He checks here. Cornel's going to reach for chips.
Yep, the 37-year-old betting again with the overpair, 225,000.
Well, that's not a big bet into a pot that's got over 800,000 in it. And Chris Ferguson is going to look him up, and he's going to be shocked when this guy turns up 2 queens and never took a raise in this pot.
Cornel Cimpan takes it from the heavyweight at the table, Chris Ferguson.
So Cornel Cimpan off to a good start here, takes down pot number 1.
LA Poker Classic just getting underway. We'll be right back on the World Poker Tour.
Online tournament fees can add up quickly. Breaking news. Every tournament is rake-free for the month of April on WPT Global.
Huh. Where?
On WPT Global.
Why?
We are crazy. Sign up by clicking the link in the description and play tournaments with no fees at WPT Global. Use bonus code YT53 and we will match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
No rake. No fees. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, Vince, and his idol is the defending champion of this event, Phil Ivey, who won this last year. And I can tell you this young kid's got a lot of heart, just like Phil Ivey does.
All right, action going down to Binh Nguyen. Out of Vegas, quickly folding his hand. Jesus Ferguson. Not going to play a 10-5.
Okay, around the Cornel Cimpan, he looks down at a pair of 9s. Reaching for some raisin chips. Going to make it 200,000 to go.
To the St. Louis pro, Pat Walsh, who studied business and criminal justice at Missouri State. Not getting lucky so far tonight. He folds his hand. Karagulleyan also out.
Mike Sowers, the 22-year-old. He's going to make the call.
How much you got, Mike? I started the hand with 2.2. 2.2.
Out of the big blind. Cost him another 120,000 to call. He's got the ace-7 of hearts. And it comes ace, king, queen. Mike checks the top pair. Cornel not happy to see the 3 overcards. Checks the 2 9s right behind him.
Yep.
Now a king comes off. Well, again, Mike Sowers checks, and again, Cornel checks right behind him.
Yeah, not falling into any traps here. 3 of spades on the river.
Well, if you're the youngster now, you got to think your aces up are good here. And I'm sure Mike thinks exactly that. That's why he's getting out some chips to bet. Going to make a $325,000 wager. Now what do you do with 2 nines? Well, you call, I guess, if you're Cornel Cimpan, but he's not going to like it. So the youngest guy at the table, 22-year-old Mike Sowers from Charlotte, North Carolina, taking down that pot. And Vince, I can tell you, I played at a final table of the World Series of Poker with this kid. It was a $10,000 pot limit Hold'em tournament. He tried to bluff me out, Vince. He came over the top of me with a 9-3 offsuit. I happened to have 2 queens. I busted him out of the tournament.
That's it, Mike.
Well, he's got heart, though. I liked him. He's a likable kid. Young online whiz kid. Action's back on him here.
Yep, he's got a 9-8, and you know, you look at his hat, it almost looks like he should have a propeller on the top of that.
Oh, Vince, I agree. What a horrible hat that is.
Well, he has raised it to 200,000. Binh Nguyen out. Chris Ferguson out. It's around to Cornel, who's got a pair of 7s.
And he got burned with the 2 nines the last hand against this same player. Let's see what he's going to do with the 2 7s. Mike Sowers has raised it coming in. But he's going to make the call here.
Pat Walsh also in so far. He's got a Jack 10.
Well, Vince, there's 540,000 in the pot. Going to cost him another 120 to make this call. Be surprised if he doesn't make it here with all that money that's out there.
33-year-old, first time at a final table on the World Poker Tour.
Well, so far nothing's gone right for him at this final table, so he's going to sit this one out. So we got the same 2 guys going at it again, Mike Sowers and Cornel Cimpan.
Yep, 7s up against 9, 8 of clubs. Here's the flop.
Well, King 3 deuce. No help to either player. Cornel checks his 2 7s. The 22-year-old with heart looks like he's going to make the continuation bet with just 9 high. Yes, he is. 325,000. Now what do you do with 2 7s?
He's not going anywhere.
Well, he's made the call here.
Solid call by Cornel.
Well, thinks they might be the best hand. Indeed, they are. See what happens from here. Here comes the turn card. Well, a queen comes off. Again, Cornel checks. Will the youngster fire again? Remember, he only has 9 high. But he's going to check this time.
Yep, going down to the river.
Now the board pairs kings. Well, Cornel checks the 2 7s. I'm sure Mike Sowers realized the only way you can win this pot is to bet at it. So he is going to fire. But Vince, I think once the board pairs kings, you know your opponent doesn't have a king, because he would have bet on 4th Street had he had a pair of kings. So you don't figure this card's going to help him.
Well, this is how you ran him down in that tournament, Mike.
Still a tough call to make with 2 7s here, though.
It is. The kid makes some plays. He makes some moves. Is it going to work? No.
Cornel is going to make the
You're
call.
good. I got 9 high.
He's going to win this pot with the 2 7s, giving himself a clap, and deservedly so, Vince. That was a nice call.
Well, the 22-year-old, very bold. Gets his hand caught in the cookie jar right there.
Nice hand. Good call. Thanks.
But he remains a gentleman. 6 players remain at the LA Poker Classic. We're coming right back.
How tough it is to win these things. How could he know, Vince? This is the first time he's ever played. Here he is at the final table. He's making it look easy.
He's getting a taste of it tonight. Let's go to the table. Action going to Cornel Cimpan. He's got a king 10 of spades. He is an action-oriented player, and he's going to raise.
And he makes it 200,000 to go.
Pat out. Chris Karagulleyan also out, as is Mike Sowers.
So we're around to Binh Nguyen. He looks down at a queen-jack offsuit. He's got 40,000 in the small blind. He's going to call another 160,000. And Chris Ferguson lays down the 10-6 of clubs.
So a king 10 versus queen jack. The first 3 are coming up.
Oh, it's come queen jack 8. Binh Nguyen has flopped the top 2 pair and checks.
Yeah, trying to trap, but both check.
Now Cornel with the open and straight draw checks it, and now makes a straight on the turn as a 9 comes off. Now there are 3 hearts out there. Action is on Binh Nguyen.
Gonna find out where he is. He's bet 250,000.
He's got the top 2 pair, but he is in dire trouble right now.
And just getting a call by Cornel.
Can't believe that Cornel would not come over the top of him with a straight here with 3 hearts out there. Now the 4th heart comes out. Neither player has a heart, so neither player going to be excited to see that card. Now Binh Nguyen is first to act. He's got the top 2 pair. There's a 4-card flush and a 4-card straight on the board, but he's going to make one of those defensive style bets. There's over $1 million in the pot, and yet he's betting $350,000.
Very daring, $350,000 bet with no straight, no heart.
Cornel got to be disgusted with himself for not coming back over the top.
Yeah.
On the turn right now. Might be afraid his opponent has made a flush here.
Got to come back over the top on the turn when you hit the high straight there.
Well, especially when there's 3 hearts on the board.
Oh, yeah. It's a big mistake, and he's going to pay for it.
But what about that bet by Binh Nguyen? You got to love that size bet, about 1/3 of what was in the pot. And it paid off in spades for him because his 2 pair took down the pot, even though his opponent had a straight.
And he is smiling right now. And this is a guy that plays in the biggest cash games in Vegas, on his way to a $1.6 million first place prize, perhaps.
Well, he's a very smart guy. He's got an MBA, was a former engineer, now poker pro.
Okay, to the table. This hand we go.
Well, Pat and Chris Karagulleyan fold.
Look at this. The online kid picking up a pair of kings.
Big hand for Mike Sowers right here. The 22-year-old has 2 cowboys, so he's going to bet $200,000.
Binh Nguyen going to take a breather. Mucks his hand.
Around to Chris Ferguson. Chris in a small blind here. Well, he looks down at the Queen Jack of diamonds.
Yep, an enticing hand here.
Yeah, that's the kind of hand you like to see flops with. He's in big trouble as his opponent has an overpair. Well, Chris Ferguson's going to make the call, wants to see a flop. See what Cornel does in the big blind here. Well, he looks down at a 6-deuce offsuit. Not even he can play that one.
So we got the young online poker pro Mike Sowers up against World Series champion Chris Ferguson in a big one. And look at this, Chris has picked up a pair of jacks.
This hand could spell big trouble with a capital T for Chris Ferguson. He's flopped top pair here. It's come Jack 8 deuce. He's going to check the 2 jacks. See what the 22-year-old is going to do with his kings. Well, he's going to bet, looks like $250,000.
Yep, he'll try to protect the overpair. Not that big of a bet, though.
He's trying to reel him in here. And Vince, it could well work. Chris Ferguson may try the check raise here after flopping top pair. If so, it can be big trouble for him. Well, he is. He is going to raise it here, and quickly Mike Sowers goes all in. Not for much more, just about another 100 or 200,000 more. So Chris obligated to call.
Jesus, in a lot of trouble right now. Pair of jacks up against kings.
Yeah, Mike Sowers' friends hollering for a king to get this thing over with.
Good luck, Chris.
Chris Ferguson in a lot of trouble. His dream of becoming a WPT champion slipping away.
Well, he's looking for a queen or a jack to take the lead right now. To catch a running 9-10 to make it straight. Oh, king comes right off. That's going to do it. This hand is over, folks. Mike Sowers all smiles as he's going to double up here.
Down, but not out.
Nearly $3 million in this pot.
Jesus always comes back.
All right, well, will Jesus rise again? We will see. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action on the World Poker Tour.
No, Vince, just for the record, I don't think any player should be allowed to wear sunglasses at a final table, but that's just me. But I'm not sure that makes Chris Ferguson any more intimidating. It's the fact that he moves all in on these guys. That's what intimidates him.
All right, to the felt we go. Karagulleyan quickly folding. The online pro Mike Sowers also going out.
It's around to Binh Nguyen. He looks down at a pair of 6s, Route 66. Going to make it $200,000 to go. Oh, and Chris Ferguson has ace-king. He's got big slick. He's got less than $1 million in chips. It's $200,000 to call. Be very surprised if he doesn't ship it here.
Look at Binh Nguyen. Ferguson he's saying, does this guy have a real hand? We know Binh Nguyen's hand isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's a mid-pair, but Chris is going all in over the top.
Yeah, let's see what the blinds are going to do. Now, Cornel has 8-9 of spades, but hard to call $1 million all-in bet with that hand.
Pat Walsh laughs about his hand as he mucks
So
it.
780 more from him.
Gonna get more expensive if Binh Nguyen wants to stick around with his mid pair.
Well, it's going to cost him another $780 to make the call. There's about $1.4 million in the pot. But Vince, he's got the chips to be able to make this call. Even if he calls and loses this pot, he's going to have over $2 million in chips. I think with an opportunity to knock out a Chris Ferguson and take command with 5 players left, I think it's worth the risk here to make this call with the 2 6s.
You would think so. But he's not going to do it. He has mucked the hand. So Chris Ferguson taking this pot.
Wow, I'm surprised by that fold by Binh Nguyen there, but a nice all-in bet by Chris Ferguson. Well, you don't want to double up a tough player like Chris Ferguson, but sometimes you just have to gamble, Vince. You're getting almost 2-to-1 odds on your money there. He has to have an overpair to have you beat, and in case you win that pot, the toughest guy at the table is gone, and you're a big chip leader with 5 left.
And maybe it's the Chris Ferguson name that's just making these guys lay down hands to him. They just don't want to get involved with them.
Well, I think you should gamble.
The next hand we go, Chris folding. And now Cornel Cimpan, the pro from Houston, Texas. Very volatile professional. He is going to raise with an ace-jack, making it $175,000 to go. Pat Walsh, though,
All
on the short stack, says all in with an ace-queen.
Just looking for any kind of hand to get it in there with. He has found it with an ace-queen.
Karagulleyan is folded, as did Mike Sowers. Binh Nguyen not going to play.
There, he wants you to take in the 175. Bring
It's
that
going
in.
to cost Cornel around $600,000 more to make this call. He's just going to have to hope his opponent's got a pair of 9s or a pair of 10s where he might have 2 overcards and be in a race. He's going to make the call. I don't blame him for making it, but he's not going to like it as he's dominated, and he knows it. His opponent has ace-queen. He has ace-jack. So a great opportunity for Pat Walsh to double up here.
So Pat Walsh, who nothing has materialized so far this evening for him, finally has to go all in. He is out-pipping Cornel. Let's see if his hand will hold up.
Yeah, it's come king 6-3 with 2 hearts. Pat Walsh well out in front. He's also got the ace of hearts as a backup here. The 33-year-old pro out of St. Louis in great shape to double up here. Well, now an ace comes off. That means the only way that Cornel can win this pot is he must catch a jack on the river. They would split the pot if a 3 or 6 comes off.
I can catch a 3 or a 6 for
Pat
chop.
Walsh studied business and criminal justice at Missouri State.
Deuce.
He'd like some justice here, and he gets it.
So there you go. Pat Walsh is going to double up. We still have 6 players left.
Rakes in his first pot of the evening. Pat Walsh taking down that pot. Winner going to take home over $1.6 million in Los Angeles. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action in just a moment.
Online tournament fees can add up quickly. Breaking news. Every tournament is rake-free for the month of April on WPT Global.
Huh. Where?
On WPT Global.
Why?
We are crazy. Sign up by clicking the link in the description and play tournaments with no fees at WPT Global. Use bonus code YT53 and we will match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
No rake. No fees. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Well, our current chip leader is WPT champ Chris Karagulleyan going for his 2nd title tonight. He's got a little over $3.5 million. Chris Ferguson on the short stack, but still has over $1.3 million. So, Vince, it's anybody's game from here.
Okay, to the money pit we go. We go to the Houston Bandit, Cornel Cimpan. Looks at a jack 6. He goes away.
Pat Walsh peeks down at an ace-3 offsuit, lays it down.
The WPT champion, Chris Karagulleyan, with ace-8 of hearts, is going to raise. Makes it $225,000 to go.
And Mike Sowers going out. Binh Nguyen out as well.
Round to Chris Ferguson.
He's got a pair of 9s.
Yeah, he's got a real hand here.
As we've seen, when Chris Ferguson gets a pair, he doesn't call in these spots. Nearly always comes over the top. Let's see what he does here. Up against the WPT champ and a really solid player, but doesn't stop Chris Ferguson from playing his game. He's moved all in.
Yep, he is going to ship it, and Karagulleyan wants to know how much is it going to cost me.
It's going to cost him about $1 million more, Vince.
So if I lose, how much will I have?
It's a negative way of thinking about it, but now there's Chris Ferguson's dad. If your Jesus is dead, do you call him God, I wonder?
Oh, boy.
I don't want to double you up.
Well, ace-8 is not exactly the kind of hand you want to put another $1 million with and gamble with a Chris Ferguson. Be surprised if he calls, and he does lay his hand down, so Chris Ferguson over the top again, all in to take down the pot.
Yeah, playing power poker right there. Karagulleyan
Good
content.
lay down, brother. Good lay down.
And right there, that's Chris Karagulleyan's life coach, I believe. Crazy fan, they call him.
He's gonna do that one
Just to
anyway.
relax. I don't want to double him up. What do you want? You want me to double him up, and now he can't. He come and kill us.
They don't want to double up the great Chris Ferguson. He's too dangerous of a player, and that's what Karagulleyan says right there. Blinds are going up to 50 and 100,000. Quick fold by Pat Walsh.
Over to Karagulleyan, he lays his hand down.
The online kid, Mike Sowers, also going out.
Binh Nguyen out, so it's the battle of the blinds. Down to Chris Ferguson, he picks up a
Whoa.
nice hand here. Ace-king of clubs.
Starting to get a little rush there for Chris Ferguson.
And he's going to raise it. He's going to make it 300,000 to go. The blinds just went up to 50 and 100,000, so
And the Houston Bandit picks up a pair of fours. 44, midlife crises.
well, he's got the Colt 44s, Vince. That's because he's looking to shoot down Chris Ferguson here. Now, do you want to just call and see this flop, or you want to come over the top with the pair? He's going to make the call. So both players with a legitimate hand here. Chris Ferguson with the ace-king of clubs. Cornel with the 2 4s. Here's the flop. Now let's come 10-8-8. Action on Chris Ferguson. Well, Chris is going to check.
I'm all in.
And quickly, Cornel goes all in. A nice all-in bet by him.
Wow, he is putting the pressure on Ferguson here. Boldly bet by Cornel Cimpan. Do you want to call off your money here?
Well, this is the problem. When you don't move all in yourself, you're faced with a tough decision as to what to do. You got to hope the guy's bluffing, and your ace-king might be good. But I believe if you're going to check and call here, you should have moved in to start with. But Chris Ferguson has done just that. He has checked and called all his money off.
You got a pair? No. I know you don't have a pair.
So Cornel out in front with the 2 pair right now. Chris Ferguson going to have to get lucky to win this pot to stay alive in this tournament. And what a pot it is.
Yep.
Over 3.3 million in this pot.
What an opportunity for Cornel Cimpan to make a name for himself, to knock out Chris Ferguson in this event. The turn card, 6 of clubs, not helping Ferguson.
Well, it's going to help him if another 6 comes off. He'd win the pot with 8s and 6s and an ace kicker. He needs an ace, a king, a 10, or a 6. Otherwise, Chris Ferguson will be our 6th place finisher.
Cornel Cimpan, will he be the Dragon Slayer tonight?
Now, the 3 of clubs comes off. Cornel Cimpan, very excited to knock Chris Ferguson out of this tournament and take the chip lead here.
Chris Ferguson out in 6th place, going to pick up 240,000, but it's got to be disappointing for him.
His dream to win a WPT title is going to have to come on another day.
Well, the crowd loves this guy.
How can you not love him?
Ace-king is a big hand. Normally I'd call. You have to call with that hand. That's the normal thing to do. And I'm not getting. I think I'm behind. I'm not getting bad odds on my call anyway. That's why I called, hoping to get lucky basically. The game is very slow. People are picking their spots. They're really avoiding trouble a lot, and so I think that's why we haven't seen a player go out until me.
A great gentleman and ambassador of the game. Chris Ferguson out in 6th place, and we are down to 5 players at the Commerce Casino. Stay tuned, we're coming back.
Super folds.
And now Pat Walsh has picked up a pair of 10s.
I'm all in.
Nice hand. He's moving all in with the 2 10s.
Yep. So Chris Karagulleyan now with ace-3 mucks his hand.
How much is it?
It's about.
And now the online kid,
1.4.
Mike Sowers, says, how much you got there? How much is it?
I'm all in.
And Mike Sowers going all in here with an ace-jack.
Yeah, he's gone over the top. Binh Nguyen out. So we do have a showdown.
Wow, what a call here by Mike Sowers with just an ace-jack.
Let's go. Come on, one time.
He's got the 2 overcards, so we've got a race situation, but a huge pot here. Nearly $3 million in this pot.
Pat Walsh.
He needs to win the race to stay alive. Let's see if he can do it. Oh, it's come 10-8-5. He has flopped the top set, Rin 10-10,
Blank that
30
card.
miles. And the only way Mike Sowers can win this pot is he had 2 running cards to make it straight. He knows it. He's counting out the chips that he's going to lose here.
How do they do it, Mike?
6.
Does his luck continue? It looks great there.
And the deuce comes off. Well, he pumps his fist. He knows there's no card Mike can catch to win the pot. He is going to double up here, and the 22-year-old taking a big hit there.
Well, all 5 of these guys have plenty of chips, but only one of them will be taking home the WPT title and the $1.6 million first place prize. Who's it going to be?
Please join us next time for the exciting conclusion of the LA Poker Classic right here on the World Poker Tour.